Hello, hello. Do you know what the real defining characteristic of living through the Trump era is? Exhaustion. I don't know about you, but I mean, I've got personal stuff going on as well as what's going on in Washington and the world. I'm exhausted. This is just, you've got to be kidding. But we pull ourselves together and we try to do what we can. But I have my Mars is in Pisces, and Mars is the force. It's how you take action, how you do things. But Pisces is the most, if anything, it's one of the most passive signs, because it's ruled by Neptune, which diffuses things. It's fantastic for fiction or for spirituality. It's not. Yeah, Mars rules Aries, god of war. Not so much Pisces is much more Prince of Peace. So when I get upset, which I don't like doing, today the dumbest thing happened. I'll get to the reading in just a minute, but the dumbest thing happened. I was actually reading an astrology article somebody had written, and a professional astrologer had written about someone, and all they said was that basically the upshot is that this person had a 7th house sun, and the professional astrologer said, oh, this person has all the intensity and secretiveness of an 8th house sun. I just started typing, and I didn't send it to anybody. I'll probably put it up on Patreon just because hopefully someone will laugh. But I just went on this huge sass fest of being sassy, the sassiest that the Black and Orange channel can get. But I just, like I said, nobody's seen it. I really don't like confrontation and things like that. But I just went the complete sass fest about the difference between the 7th and the 8th houses. So, if that interests you, I'm probably going to finish it and put it up on Patreon. But, very sassy. Very, you've got to be kidding me. And, yeah. So, plus the fact that we need to look for some humor. We really need to look for some humor, because it's bad. I mean, it's not just bad in Washington. Hurricane Dorian is, I really hope that there's a Bahamas left. It hit the Bahamas as a Category 5 storm, and they dealt with Category 5 winds for about 12 hours. And then they dealt with Category 4 winds for at least another 12 hours, possibly more. And the thing is complete. It's just stalled. I mean, currently, hang on, I've got I just looked, as I am filming this, Hurricane Dorian is completely stationary, and that's not good. So luckily, the high pressure center that's over the U.S. is going to push the hurricane back out into the Atlantic, and it has weakened. But it, unfortunately for the Bahamas, why it weakened is because it sucked all of the heat out of the ocean to where it was. It was stalled for so long. That's like, taking a beating for something, and, the beating lessening up finally because a person's arm gets tired. I mean, that's brutal. That's brutal. Let's have a look at Dorian, because I believe it's North Carolina is likely to have to deal with, it has a Category 3 storm, but the state of the Bahamas, and of course, Mr. Empathy himself, our Orange Fiora, is golfing. Oh, and did you see where I believe Russian television was just saying some not nice things about Trump? So you know he's toast. If the Russians aren't backing him anymore. But anyway, but let's look at Dorian. Let's look at Hurricane Dorian. Whew. Oh, 2 in the past. You know, there have always been hurricanes back before, you know, when humans were still, you know, tiny little mammals. There were hurricanes. There have always been hurricanes, but you know, we got a sense of what they were like, and now, yikes, with the earth warming, the oceans warming, yeah, you get really, really nasty. What was that movie, Day After Tomorrow? I mean, the science of that was dubious at best, but it was a good film. And the joke about the joke about the tax books was very funny. If you haven't, I don't want to completely ruin it, but yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, I'm just trying to find some. My mind keeps going to funny references or humorous, or because this is devastating. This is absolutely devastating. And no, what happened in Day After Tomorrow? No, you can't get there from here. No. To many people, it's very much going to feel like an act of God. This is the card of secrets and mysteries, higher wisdom. So, yikes. In the past, we got better at judging where they were going to land. Even 20 years ago, for a storm this size, they would have evacuated much more of Florida for it. But the technology is getting better, and families are taking it more seriously, which is good. Very good. Unfortunately, not everyone, but a lot more people are taking these huge storms seriously. Center of the reading. Because we have chosen to name things, we humans have decided to name things and inanimate objects and storms and all this kind of stuff. They almost, in the spiritual, the astral, it becomes kind of almost a thought form, that you get a name and it gets more structure, and it almost becomes some kind of creature in itself, which I know sounds it sounds a lot weird, but that's just kind of how it is. And this is a storm. I know that's the infinity symbol, but it feels like a storm. That is its being. Okay, and that's the center of the reading, which makes sense. Base of the reading. This would be our fearful leader, and him gutting regulations about methane and about other greenhouse gases, and he's not the first, but he's the latest of the reading. This feels like drilling, oil drilling, moneyed. Yeah, this is moneyed. This is all the Republican donor things that drive us crazy. Yeah, where it's all big oil and to heck with the climate and to heck with the EPA and to heck with, near future. People coming together, that's good. Oh gosh. I hate to say this. I'm getting, from these flowers, I'm getting funerals. And funerals of devastating Dorian is absolutely going down the history books, yeah. I try not to go speechless during these readings, you know, just because I end up editing that out anyway, but that's, wow. Home environment. Cups. This goes back to Dorian the spirit. Hello, kitty. And the turbulent seas. And it's not just turbulent seas, it's like the king of turbulent seas. Fish thrown willy-nilly and ships can't go near it, and yeah. Hopes and fears, hard decisions. That hard decisions are going to have to be made. Supplies are going to run out, and it's going to take time to get more, and they're going to be hard decisions about who gets what, working late into the night to try to help people. What other people see? Yeah. The majority of people sending positive energy, sending positive thoughts, giving donations, trying to be a good neighbor, trying to be a decent human being. I mean, of course, there are always going to be looters or people who are desperate or who are going to, you know, act like fools, but on the whole, final outcome. It's bad and it's going to get worse. Dorian is, for some reason, what I'm picking up is going to cause some scientists to really study this storm. Really study this storm. Because there's something about it that this is just them really looking down into each careful little piece. And this is new. This will inform new regulations. This is like the new EPA under the Democrats, with new laws being put in place because we have got to do something. We have to do something about our warming planet. And it doesn't matter even what you think caused it or what we have to do everything we possibly can. Because that's ugly. It isn't like we got the pretty Dorian, the handsome Dorian. No, we got the really ugly paintings at the end of the movie, or movies. I don't know if you've seen the more recent Dorian Gray with Ben Barnes. That was good. That was a good film. He did a great job in that movie. I just want to say that. Let's see here. Dorian, and not Ben Barnes. Is Dorian just Dorian the Hurricane? As for the four people who can come up in each suit, where you have the page, you have the knight, you have the queen, you have the king. Okay, the page is obviously, it's usually a young person, male or female, and it's usually the weakest of them. And then you have the fool, who means well, but Mr. Fancy Pants here is not really a Rhodes Scholar. Let's just face it. It feels like normal people feeling particularly helpless after the storm, because even once the government comes in and trying to fix things and trying to put looters in jail or thieves in jail, suddenly people who, going after insurance companies who aren't going to cover claims or whatever it is, and these two cards feel much bigger than these two, but it's like standing in long lines. And then it's just going to dissipate. I mean, it's a storm. They come up, they go, they dissipate. I mean, right now it's just brutal. It's just beyond brutal. Usually the Ace of Wands is the start of something, but this is just the biggest stick in hand to hit with. But it's going to, it's going to dissipate. That's what they do. And we're left picking up the pieces after it's gone. Is it going to be brutal on North Carolina? How's it going to be on North Carolina or the coast? Warnings, evacuation orders. If you get an evacuation order, please listen. Please listen. Yeah, this is huge storm surge. This is flooding. And it may not look like huge flooding, but it's still flooding. But this is flooding. But this is closer to the coast. Show judgment. Please. Okay, that feels like FEMA and the Red Cross. Family sticking together. Couples sticking together. Because it's going to continue on, the hard choices are going to continue on. There might be some tussling for supplies, but it doesn't feel, the energy on this, if you're inside of it, it's bad, but it doesn't feel overwhelming like riots in the street. No, it's not. It's not that. Carolina. No, this is the Bahamas. It's going to be devastating. Just beyond devastating, and in many respects it's going to take them down. I mean, last I heard, I think they said there are 5 people dead in the Bahamas, but that's all they know about. And also, I just want to send some good energy, some divine energy to those spirits who have passed on, and to their families left behind, and to everyone else caught in these storms. So, and that's what we can do. Give a little to the Red Cross if you can. It's the Bahamas. It's going to take the. It's sad. It is beyond sad. It's like I've got kind of tears in my eyes, kind of thing. Brutal. And Trump first of all, he's like way off to the side because they've got him, I don't know, his shiny set of rattle keys to keep him occupied, which is his golf course. They've got him out on that, and his tweets are just appalling. It feels like it's going to be ugly, but it doesn't feel. Yeah, it's just. Don't be stupid, but things are going to be okay. I mean, in the long run. I mean, it's hard for people to even go inland and get a hotel room for a night or two. I mean, that can financially devastate an awful lot of people in the country. And then you're staring at the Weather Channel, and it's like it's horrible. It's the worst storm ever, and there are people saying, "Nah, it's nothing bad." It was weird. Even on MSNBC, there was one of the major, big-time meteorologists, and he just made the whole thing sound like, well, the Bahamas have been hit really hard, but the U.S. is fine. Oh, it's nothing bad. You're not even going to notice. And it's like, really? You're really going to go on TV and say that? Yeah, you're going to have to move away from these low-lying coastal areas. Build on higher ground. This is putting things on stilts or getting things up off the ground, but it's expensive, and it's only the rich who can afford it. So all I can really say is, please just be safe. Please pray for everyone caught in this. But people are good in general, in total. Of course there are terrible people out there, but in general, in the collective, there are more good people than bad by far. So let's come together and try to focus on the good, and we'll build on that. All right? So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much to my patrons. All right, there are good days ahead. It's just hard now, and when things clear in the Bahamas, it's not going to be pretty. But hang in there, okay? Stay safe. Thank you.